Hey guys, this is Rachel from Cypress Textiles, and today we're going to be making the Chicago square from the 2020 VVCAL. I'm using a 3mm hook and shape disc katana. So I'm going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 3 and then slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. And you can use a magic ring, or you can chain more than 3, 4 or 5, whatever you prefer. Now straight into the center of this ring, I'm going to start with a beginning DC, which is just a single crochet and a chain 1. So without chaining up, I never chain up on single crochet. I'm just going to go straight into the center, pull up my loop for my single, and complete my single, and then chain 1. And that's the first double crochet of the round. That's beginning DC. And then I'm going to chain 1, and that's going to be a chain space, a chain 1 space. So now I'm going to do a repeat of that chain 1 plus 3 double crochet. And I'll just repeat chain 1, 3 double crochet in my center ring until I have a total of 12 double crochet, including the beginning one, and 4 chain spaces. All right, so I stopped before I finished. So right now I have 10 double crochet, and I do have my 4 chain spaces, but these are the very last 2 double crochet that I'm going to make. And the reason why I only make 2 right now is because the beginning DC from the start is the completes the 3 DC group. So now I'm going to join my round into my beginning DC. So I'm going to go into that chain with a slip stitch, and make sure your slip stitch is nice and loose. So now you see you have a little square. You have 12 double crochet and 4 chain spaces. Okay, so now we're going to start into round 2, and we're going to start right in this chain space with 3 single crochet. So again, I don't chain up for a single, so just go straight into that chain space with 3 single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to work a single crochet in each of these 3 doubles. So 1, 2, and 3. And that is our repeat. 3 singles in the corner, and then a single in each of the stitches around. All right, round 2 is complete, and you can see I've joined with a slip stitch into my first single of the round. And when I joined into the slip stitch of that first single of 3, I'm going to actually work my next round starting in that second center single crochet here. So we're not going to start working into the same stitch as the join. We're going to go into the next single. So in that center corner single, we're going to make a beginning DC. So just go straight in for your single crochet and chain 1, and that's the first DC of the round, the beginning DC. Now we're going to chain 2, and that's for the corner chain space. All right, and then we'll make 3 DC in the same stitch. And then we're going to skip 2 singles, and then work straight into this center single right here with 3 DC. Okay. And then we're going to be skipping 2 and working into our corner. So we're going to skip 2 and work into this corner single with 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. A little knot. Oops, made it worse. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, all in the same corner stitch. All right, so here's how we're looking so far. And you're going to keep working that way all the way around. So our next move would be to skip 2 and make 3 DC in the next stitch. So skip 2 and 3 DC. All right, so here's that round finished. I joined with the slip stitch in the chain of the beginning DC, leaving the chain 2 corner space open. And now I'm ready to make another single crochet round. So in this chain space corner, I'm going to work 3 single crochet, and then just make singles in all the stitches across. So it'll be 9 singles in total right here, and then 3 singles in the corner. All right, and then just repeat that all the way around. All right, so that round is finished here, and you can see that I've joined with the slip stitch in the first single. And now I'm ready to make my next round. So in this center single again, so in the next stitch, not the joining stitch, we're gonna make a beginning DC. So go straight in for your single and then chain 1. And chain 2 again for the corner chain space, and 3 DC in the same stitch. And this is a lot like our second round. It's just gonna have a longer side. So 3 DC in the same corner stitch, and skip 2 and 3 DC in the next stitch, and skip 2 again, 3 DC in the next stitch, okay, skip 2, 3 DC, and skip 2, and then we're at our corner. So skip 2, and then this corner stitch, you're going to do 3 DC, chain 2, 3 DC, and then just keep going, doing skip 2 and 3 DC in the next stitch. All right, and I'll back up and show you how it looks so far, and then I'll show you how it looks when it's finished. There we go. That's how we're looking so far. All right, so that round is done, and we only have 2 more rounds left. So our next round is going to be a DC round instead of a single round like we have on alternating rounds here. So straight into our chain space, and actually I joined with the slip stitch into the wrong chain space there. So just make sure that you join with the slip stitch into the chain from your beginning DC. So you're gonna leave that corner chain space, the chain 2, free there. And I accidentally joined into that chain. So whenever you do it, just make sure you join into the chain of the beginning DC, and you can just look and see if you have 2 chains in the corner here, then you're good to go. Okay, so now we're gonna start the next round. So straight into this corner chain space, I'm gonna start with a beginning DC, then I'm gonna chain 2, and I'm gonna chain 2 for the corner. Then I'm going to do 3 double crochet in the same corner chain space. Okay, then I'm going to chain 1. And now we're going to work in between these two 3DC groups. So I've got like this little triangle that's made in between. So you're not working into any stitch. You're just gonna pretend there's a chain space here. So just put your hook in between these groups and then make 2 double crochet in there. So right into that space and make 2 double crochet. Okay, and then that's how it's gonna look. Then chain 1. Now into between the next 2 groups, 2 double crochet. And I can get it. Chain 1 again. Then between the next 2 groups, 2 DC. Chain 1. And finally, between these last 2 groups here, 2 DC. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we'll do our corner. 3 DC, chain 2, 3 DC on this chain space. Okay, 3 DC, chain 2, 3 DC. Okay, and then you're just going to start with your repeat. So you're going to chain 1 and then do your 2 DC in between these groups. So here's how we're looking, and I'll come back right whenever mine's done. All right, so this round is complete, and I just need to make my final double crochet here so that my corner is 3 DC, chain 2, 3 DC, and then join in the chain of the beginning DC and leave the 2 chains for the corner free right there. All right, so that round is complete, and I'm ready to do the final round, which is very simple. Just 3 single crochet in the corner. Just jump straight into the 3 singles, and then single crochet in all of the stitches and spaces across. So you're just going to make a single crochet in all of these stitches and spaces. And then when you get to the next corner space, do 3 singles in the corner. Alright, so my final round is done, and I've joined with the slip stitch into the first single of the round. And on this square, I'm actually going to show you how to bury the yarn tail. So we're just going to put the hook from back to front into the stitch to the left of the joining stitch. Then grab the yarn tail and pull it to the back. And then go in through back to front through back loop only of the stitch to the right of the joining stitch and pull the tail to the back again. And now you're just going to repeat that same maneuver. Go back to front through back loop only of the stitch to the right and pull the yarn tail through to the back. And just keep doing that each time, and you always pull it to the back. And that's going to bury your yarn tail very nicely, so that whenever you put on a border round or whenever you join your squares, whatever you do, this yarn tail will be trapped in between those layers. So I'm just going to continue until the tail is all the way used up, and then I'll show you when you look at it from the back, you can barely see the yarn tail. Okay, there we go, and I'll just do this last one. All right, and see, you can look at the back and you can see it peeking through like right there, but it's really, really buried and it will not come free. All right, so that's a great way to bury these yarn tails after you're done with each square. So this has been the Chicago square from the 2020 VVCAL. I've been using Shaped Just Katana and a 3mm hook. And if you like these squares, you can subscribe to my channel and check out the 2020 VVCAL playlist, or either of my other 2 VVCAL playlists as well. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next video.